Welcome, peace be upon you. How are you guys doing? I hope you all are doing well. Here we are in another lesson, in another discussion. Regarding Aqidah, creed. Regarding the Aqidah, the creed of the true creed of the righteous Salaf, of the righteous predecessors. Regarding the creed of the family of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him and his progeny, and the true creed of his progeny, Imam Zayd, Imam Muhammad al-Nafs al-Zakiyya, Imam Ibrahim al-Nafs al-Radiyya, Imam al-Hasan, Imam al-Husayn, Imam Yahya ibn Zayd. The list goes on. The creed, generally speaking, of the Mu'tazila, of where do I start? Of Imam al-Zamakhshari, of Abu Ali al-Jubba'i, of Abu al-Qasim al-Balkhi, of Abu Ali al-Jubba'i, of Qadi Abdul Jabbar, the creed of the people of Adl, the people of justice, the people who attribute justice to God, not believing in that God created everything. God created, meaning created everything. What do you mean by that? I thought God is the creator. Created everything, meaning created my action. Meaning that when I slap my face, okay, and if I say a cuss word, if I do something evil, it's not attributed to God, it's attributed to me. Meaning that God he created an ability in me to have free will. And then on the day of judgment, that's when I will be held accountable for that which is bad, and I will be pardoned or rewarded for that which was good. Well, I'll be rewarded for what was good if I get rewarded at all. If God forgives us, God willing, we will go to heaven. And all our wrongdoings and sins get pardoned. But it's us who committed them, not that God created them, or God created them and God created our choices and God created our intentions, leaving no room for us to have done anything, meaning that God is the one who's judging us for nothing, meaning that we're being tested for nothing. No, that's not how it works. In any case, guys, so we have been talking about corporeality, the belief that God has a body, which the Salafis have these days. These days, it's the Salafis. In the old days, it was the Karramis and people like Ibn Taymiyyah and Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah. Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah, not Ibn al-Jawzi. Ibn al-Jawzi was not a corporealist. Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah was. Believing that God has a physical body in the sky. God is in the sky. So, and Ibn Taymiyyah as well, those that they say, Shaykh al-Islam, rahimahullah. Shaykh al-Islam, may God bless him. Shaykh al-Islam or Shaykh al-Kufr? Shaykh of Islam or Shaykh of disbelief? Today, we're going to talk about corporeality and the use of interpretation. And by the way, disbelievers are those who believe that God is a body. Those are disbelievers, even if they claim to be Muslim. That means Salafis. That means anyone else, Ibn Taymiyyah and others who say that God is a physical body, according to the Zaydi Imams and according to at least one of the Mu'tazila, maybe according to more. And according to many Asha'ira and Maturidiyah, they are considered kuffar. Today, people run away from calling them kuffar. They don't want to be considered, bad or something like that. I don't know, but they are disbelievers. I say they're disbelievers, but they're just in the position of Ahl al-Kitab. That's all. They just demote themselves to the position of Ahl al-Kitab, of Christians and Jews. That's all. It's just like dealing with a Christian and Jew. He believes in God, but wrong interpretation of God. Doesn't mean to hurt them. It doesn't mean we should hurt them, persecute them, any of that. That's not part of Islam. But because these people but all evil and all wrong is to be refuted. All evil and all wrong is to be refuted, whatever it is. So if someone is a Christian or Jew or Muslim or so-called Muslim, we don't have a problem with the person. We have a problem with the belief. The person we respect, the belief, we have to say, hey, this I don't respect. So if somebody says, why don't you say Happy Easter? I don't believe in Easter. Jesus did not die on a cross, and he did not get resurrected. In any case, corporeality and the use of interpretation, ta'wil. This is for those who don't believe in ta'wil, and also for those who do believe in it. Let's read about it. What does it mean, interpreting that which the Qur'an came with, and but that a verse that might not be clearly understood? Let's see what the commentators are talking about. Corporeality and the use of interpretation. Those of you who are Deobandi, you want to listen to this. Those of you who are Mufawwidah, you want to listen to this. People of Tafweed, who believe that there is no such, that we can't interpret the Qur'an, you want to listen to this. Before anything, I begin in the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. I praise and I glorify Him as He ought to be praised and glorified. Corporeality and the use of interpretation, at-ta'wil. There has been an attempt by some to prohibit the use of interpretation when it comes to the Qur'an and prophetic hadiths, narrations. They say that we are restricted from doing any type of interpretation using a verse from the Qur'an and the narrated statement of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him and his progeny, as a proof. We cannot interpret. They also say that since the companions of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him and his progeny, did not utilize interpretation, we shouldn't do so. Some opinions reject any type of interpretation outright, whereas other opinions permit it in some situations but prohibit it in others. Regarding the verse that they use, they cite the Exalted's statement, I seek refuge with God, the compassionate, the merciful. He is the one, in the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. He is the one who has revealed the book to you. In it are decisive verses. They are the basis of the book. Others are figurative verses, but those in who have deviation in their hearts follow the figurative verses, seeking controversy and searching for its hidden interpretations. But no one knows its hidden interpretations except God and those who are firmly grounded in knowledge. They say, those who are firmly grounded in knowledge, they say, we believe in the book. The whole of it is from our Lord. None will grasp it except those of understanding. Qur'an 3:7. So those verses which are decisive, clear, they're known as al-muhkamat. Those verses which are allegorical or figurative, they're known as mutashabihat. That's what they're known as. This is the verse they use to justify that we cannot use interpretation. Let's see if they're right or wrong. This verse indicates to us that there are two types of verses in the Qur'an: the decisive verses and the figurative verses. The decisive verses are those in which the apparent meaning is permissible to exist. For example, the Exalted, God Most High, says, O you who believe, when you rise for the prayer, wash your faces and hands until the elbows and wipe your heads and your feet to the ankles. It says, and wash your feet to the ankles. The verse is literally interpreted and wipe your heads and your feet until the ankles. The Zaydis and many other Muslims believe washing is what is supposed to be done. And they have their argument, which is a valid argument. And there are those from the Muslims who believe that wiping should be done, and they have their argument. For those of you thinking that it's just the 12ers who believe that wiping should be done, that's not true. 12er Shia, no. Ibn Abbas believed in it. Ikrimah believed in it. Ash-Sha'bi believed in it. Anas ibn Malik believed in it, in wiping the feet. Al-Hasan al-Basri. Imam Ali, according to one narration found in Sunni texts, not in Shia texts, but in Sunni texts. And in other narrations in Sunni texts, it says he believed in washing. Even the Prophet is said to have wiped his feet in the narrations of the Sunnis, according to at least one narration. Qatada, if I'm not mistaken, believed in wiping the feet. Yeah. So, and Ibn Hazm. Ibn Hazm believed in wiping the feet as well. He argued the argument of, he argued against washing the feet. Ibn Hazm believed that wiping is supposed to be done, if I'm not mistaken. And At-Tabari said that both are to be done, or one or the other can be done. Abu Ali al-Jubba'i, I believe, said that either one could be done, washing or wiping. He was a Mu'tazili, also a faqih, if I'm not mistaken. So when the Exalted says, O you who believe, when you rise for the prayer, wash your faces and hands until the elbows and wipe your heads and your feet to the ankles, Qur'an 5:6, that's a decisive verse. That's from the Muhkamat. It's clear, tells us what to do. The meaning is apparent. Although the jurisprudence, those people, the scholars of Islamic law, although the jurisprudence disagree as to certain details of this verse, there is no disagreement that the import of this verse is literal. This is a decisive verse. So even though they disagree about the details, like washing and wiping, they all agree that it's decisive. It's a decisive verse. However, there are verses in the Qur'an in which the literal or apparent meaning of it would be impermissible. Literal or apparent meaning would be impermissible, because it either implies an impossibility or a contradiction with other verses. These verses are known as mutashabihat, the allegorical or figurative verses. The Arabic term tashbih means to resemble something. So the term mutashabihat indicates that although the verse may resemble an apparent meaning in its wording, it nonetheless cannot be taken literal. It appears a certain way, but it cannot be taken literal. This is where the Salafis start arguing. They start opening their mouths when you say, no, that's what it says. God said this. God said this. Oh, you can't say anything else. They start babbling. For example, the Exalted says, all things pass away except his face. All things pass away except his face. Qur'an 28:88. By the way, when I read this verse, when I hear this verse, I say nothing will be left except him. Not nothing will be left except his face, literally. If I'm not mistaken, the Salafis believe that, because they say that's what it says. If I'm not mistaken, Salafis believe that. His face means nothing will be left except him. This is a figure of speech. It's a way of speaking. Let's see what it says in the book. I forgot what it says, so I'm not cheating. I'm not looking. I'm not peeking. I didn't peek. I forgot what it says because I read this part some time ago. So God says what? He says, all things pass away except his face. Qur'an 28:88. If this verse was interpreted literally, it would entail that God has a body and every part of it would be destroyed while his face remained. Such an interpretation is contrary to both logic and revealed text. To both logic and revealed text. Nas. They call it nas in Arabic. Salafis always say, give me the dalil, give me the evidence, give me the proof. They can't handle the proof. The way they can't handle the truth. Those that forbid the use of interpretation also emphasize the statement, the Quranic statement, verse. But those in who have deviation in their hearts follow the figurative verses, seeking controversy and searching for its hidden interpretations. But no one knows its hidden interpretations except God. They argue that the use of interpretative means to understand a verse is forbidden by the Qur'an. Such an interpretation is invalid for the following reasons. So their interpretation is invalid for the following reasons. Those who are Salafis, those who are Mufawwidah, who say that the Salafis and the Mufawwidah and Salafis they don't get along, because the Mufawwidah say that they tafwid, Tafwid. You can look it up. They say we don't believe God has a body, but we accept this verse and we pass over it. We don't interpret. They may interpret some verses. So, and then the Salafis, they believe that God has a physical body. First, God mentioned, so the following reasons their interpretation is wrong. Those who say you cannot interpret. Why? First, God mentions in the same verse that there is a group that knows the hidden interpretations of the Qur'an. They are referred to as those who are firmly grounded in knowledge. This entails that those who are qualified to interpret the figurative verses of the Qur'an have to be deeply encompassed in the various sciences needed to render the proper interpretations. In Arabic, they're known as ar-rasikhun. Ar-rasikhun, those who have the knowledge, who are firmly grounded in knowledge. If I'm not mistaken, those are they, the rasikhun. Ar-rasikhuna fil ilmi, those who are firmly grounded in knowledge. I think it's ar-rasikhuna fil ilmi. Qur'an chapter 3 verse 7. First, some people say that the proper stoppage, I'll explain. The proper stoppage of the verse is the following: but no one knows its hidden interpretations except God. So in the Qur'an, when you read the Qur'an, there are certain places you're supposed to stop. Okay? And some places you're permitted to stop, but you don't have to stop. And some places where it's better to stop, but you don't have to. Some places where it's better to stop, but you don't have to. Some places you have to stop. Some places you don't have to stop. Some places you have to keep going. There is a sign that tells you keep going, don't stop. And some places where you have the choice. So the stoppage, there is a stopping point, not absolute stopping, just a stopping point, where it says, so I'm going to read it to you and then tell you where the stopping point is. So the verse says, but those in who have deviation in their hearts follow the figurative verses, seeking controversy and searching for its hidden interpretations. Stop. Then continue in the same verse, continue, but no one knows its hidden interpretations except God and those who are firmly grounded in knowledge. They say, we believe in the book. Sorry. Yes. So the stoppage is that those is the stoppage is, but no one knows its hidden interpretations except Allah. Stop again, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check the verse, okay? 36, page 36 in the book, just so I don't forget. Qur'an. Okay. Chapter 3, verse 7. Surah Ali Imran. The family of Imran. Imran is the father of Mary. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I seek refuge with God, the compassionate, the merciful. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. Surah Ali Imran, verse 7. هو الذي أنزل عليك الكتاب منه آيات محكمات هن أم الكتاب وأخر متشابهات فأما الذين في قلوبهم زيغ فيتبعون ما تشابه منه ابتغاء الفتنة وابتغاء تأويله وما يعلم تأويله إلا الله. Then the verse continues to say, and nobody knows its interpretation except Allah. Stop. إلا الله. والراسخون في العلم يقولون آمنا به. And those who are firmly grounded in knowledge say, we believe in it. آمنا به كل من عند ربنا. We believe in it. All of it is from God. Now, the stopping point, the reason I don't think it showed, but I started with the back, just to double check. That stopping point is not a mandatory stopping point. It's jaiz, meaning it's permissible to stop. And you should stop, but not have to stop. You can keep going. I could say, إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَالرَّاسِخُونَ فِي الْعِلْمِ يَقُولُونَ آمَنَّا بِهِ until the end. I'll translate in English. So what happened now? What happened is that, what page did we say? 36. So the stopping, that where it stops is when it says, but no one knows its hidden interpretations except God. Stop. And those who are firmly grounded in knowledge, they say, we believe in the book, the whole of it is from our Lord. None will grasp it except those of understanding. So the stoppage. So some people say that the proper stoppage of the verse is the following, but no one knows its hidden interpretations except Allah, except God. That's where it stops. And then it continues to talk about those who are firmly grounded in knowledge. We're not going to stop here. They say this to convey the idea that God is the sole knower of the interpretations of the figurative verses. According to them, any attempt to interpret the figurative verses by anyone other than God would be improper and therefore prohibited. Haram. Prohibited. Forbidden. We reply, the commentators, we reply by saying that both places of stoppage are permissible from a grammatical standpoint. You can stop at either one. The Qur'an already, I just held the Qur'an. And there is no such thing as a Shi'i Qur'an or a Sunni Qur'an. The Qur'an that I had right now is the Qur'an attributed to Hafs from Asim. That's the most commonly read Qur'an. Hafs an Asim. Hafs was a student of the Tabi'i, Asim. May God be pleased with them both. So, because the Qur'an is a narration with a chain. So, they say this to convey that God is the sole knower of knowledge, of the interpretations. We reply by saying that both places of stoppage are permissible from a grammatical standpoint. That is, one could read the verse to say, but no one knows its hidden interpretations except God and those who are firmly grounded in knowledge, they say. Or, but no one knows its hidden interpretations except God. Those who are firmly grounded in knowledge say. You could read it both ways. However, to determine which place of stoppage is more suitable, we quote from a debate in the text, Majalisul Tabari between two scholars. I don't know if this is, I don't think this is Imam al-Tabari as the one, Abu Ja'far ibn Jarir. I don't think that's him. It's, between two scholars, Ahmed ibn Musa al-Tabari. Ahmed ibn Musa is somebody else, because the other Tabari that we know is Abu Ja'far ibn Jarir al-Tabari. Ahmed ibn Musa al-Tabari and Maymun, a theologian from Sana'a, from Sana'a. Sana'a is the capital of Yemen, and it was a capital for a long time, I believe. So I'm not sure actually how long it was a capital, but it was there for a long time. Sana'a. So Tabari, meaning he was from Tabaristan, most likely he was from Persia. They had a debate, both these people, okay? So this is how the debate goes. Listen to this. O Maymun. Maymun is a theologian from Sana'a. O Maymun, what do you say about the statement of the mighty and majestic, meaning of God, of the mighty and majestic, but no one knows its hidden interpretations except God and those who are firmly grounded in knowledge? What do you say about that? He's asking Maymun. Maymun replied, O Abul Hussein. Abul Hussein is the kunya. Kunya means that if you have, like, let's say a son, an oldest son. If I have a son named Mukhtar. If I have a son named, I won't use Mukhtar. Let's use another name because I don't want to make things Arabized. Let's make it universal. If I have a son named Ephraim. Ephraim is the name of my son of Joseph. If I have a son named Ephraim, he's my oldest son. I would be known as Abu Ephraim. In Ephraim in Arabic, I think. I forgot how to pronounce it in Arabic. There's an Arabic way of saying it. Anyway, Abu Ephraim. That means the father of Ephraim. A person could have a kunya based on either his offspring, meaning his oldest offspring, or he can have a kunya based on something that he's associated with. So Abu Hurairah had a nickname. Hurairah means kitten. Hurairah meaning kitten. And when the Prophet met him, he called him Abu Hurairah. That's what is said. That he used to carry a kitten, so the Prophet called him Abu Hurairah, Mr. Kitten, or the bearer of the kitten, or the father of the kitten. In English, one could translate, like if you have, let's say, long hair and someone wants to make fun of you, like you're a guy and you have long hair, someone wants to make fun of you, they call you Abu Sha'r. It means like Mr. Hair. That's what in English how we would say it. But in Arabic, it means father of the hair or bearer of the hair. But making fun of you, though, it's not nice, but maybe amongst friends, it's okay. So, the question was asked, O Maymun, what do you say about the verse that says, but no one knows its hidden interpretations except God, and those who are firmly grounded in knowledge? Maymun replied, O Abul Hussein. Abul Hussein is Musa al-Tabari, Ahmad ibn Musa. That's his kunya, because more than likely his eldest son, his name is Hussein. So, O Abul Hussein, that is not the recitation. Maymun said, O Abul Hussein, that is not the recitation. One says, but no one knows its hidden interpretations except God, with the stoppage there. So At-Tabari said that the Maymun said the stoppage is where God says that nobody knows except him, except God. That's the stoppage. It stops and then you continue. At-Tabari said, O Maymun, what is the meaning of God's statement, ask the city that we were in and the caravan that we came in? Ask the city that we were in and the caravan that we came in. There's a verse in the Qur'an, chapter 12, verse 82, Surah Yusuf, Joseph. I just mentioned Joseph. Joseph, verse 82. There's a verse that says, it's not the whole verse, this is part of it. So At-Tabari asked, O Maymun, what is the meaning of God's statement, ask the city that we were in and the caravan that we came in? Maymun replied, it is not a city that you ask because it is an inanimate object, jamad. It's not the city that you ask. Similarly, the caravan does not speak. It's people that are meant. This is Maymun's reply. So At-Tabari asked him, what is the meaning of God's statement? Ask the city that we were in and the caravan that we came in. Ask the city and ask the caravan. Maymun, the one who earlier said where the stoppage is, he said, It is not a city that you ask because it is an inanimate object. And similarly, the caravan does not speak. It's the people that you're asking. At-Tabari said, O Maymun, is this from revelation or interpretation? Maymun said, indeed it is from interpretation, from ta'wil. At-Tabari said, did you not say to me that one is supposed to stop after the phrase, but no one knows its hidden interpretations except God? When was this interpretation revealed to you? He, Maymun, then felt embarrassed and began to fidget nervously. Then the people began laughing at him. We shouldn't laugh, but maybe it was a culture back then, but that's what happened. This is interpretation. Ta'wil, interpretation. Ta'wil is the Arabic word, interpretation in English. So God does not mean go ask the city. Cannot ask a city. What do? Go ask the buildings? Ask the street? Ask the people. Ask the caravan. Well, who do I ask? The camels? The merchandise on the caravan? Whatever is on the caravan? The tent that sits on the... What do I ask? The people. Let's finish this page. God willing, okay? So, from the above account, we see that those that prohibit interpretation of the verses of the Qur'an are ultimately forced to adopt the interpretive method to explain the meanings of the Qur'an. To explain the meanings of verses, they're forced. It is an inescapable reality. You can't escape. This is page 38 in the book. If you read it online on Scribd, S-C-R-I-B-D, that's what I pronounce it. Scribd, then that's the interpretation. This is the book we're using. The Establishment of Clear Exposition, a commentary on Al-Hadis, the fundamentals of the religion by the Imam Rassi Society. You can get it. I'll mention it at the end of the episode. If any of you are just joining us today, welcome to you. So first, you can't escape it. Second, the Qur'an was revealed in the Arabic language. The Qur'an emphasizes numerous times that it was revealed in Arabic. This not only entails that the Holy Writ, W-R-I-T, that the Holy Writ was constructed by Arabic letters and words alone. Rather, it also means that it follows the same stylistic patterns and phraseology of the Arab people. The same stylistic patterns and phonology of the Arab people. Allah revealed the Qur'an. God revealed the Qur'an in a language that these people understand, in the way that they understand it. If not, it would not be understandable to the people. I just told you, it would not be understandable to the people that were in earshot of its revelation. The Exalted says, we have made it an Arabic Qur'an so that you will understand. Qur'an 43:3. This holy verse is an explicit proof that the Qur'an is phrased in a way that the Arabs would understand in its pristine message. They would understand. The Arabs would know what's happening, what Allah is talking about. God even challenges the Arab opposition by stating, he challenges the Arab opposition by stating, and if we would have made it a non-Arab Qur'an, and if we would have made it a non-Arab Qur'an, they would have said, why aren't its verses in detail? In brackets, how can it be? How can it be a non-Arab Qur'an and an Arab messenger? This is from the Qur'an. Chapter 41, verse 144. Verse 44. 41, 44. Chapter 41, verse 44. They would have said, why aren't its verses in detail? They would have complained. God gave it to them in their language. How can it be a non-Arab Qur'an and an Arab messenger? 41, 44. See the Qur'an. People don't read the Qur'an. They always bring you some hadith these days. Some hadith. They pull some hadith from here, from there, from here, from there. Mu'tazila, they don't do it enough. They don't do it, but they bring you logic. Zaydis, they bring both. They use both, intellect and text, which is nice. I like it. I don't agree with all the narrations though. Respectfully, I don't. If something doesn't agree with the Quran, I will not accept it. But the Zaydis, at the very least, they're on the right aqidah. They're on the right creed. We're the same people, Mu'tazila and Zaydiyah, same creed. We differ mainly on just jurisprudential matters, not creed. I haven't seen anything. Just jurisprudential matters and imamate. That's what I've seen so far. I vibe with the Zaydis. I vibe with them. As far as the creed, we vibe. Perfectly. Everything I read to you comes from my heart. Well, it's from the book, but I'm reading it with my heart. So, through the potential argument of the Arab non-believers, God confirms the potential argument, the potential argument which could happen if the Quran was revealed in another language. So through the potential argument of the Arab non-believers, God confirms that the Quran is Arabic so that its message could be easily understood. The pagan Arabs would have an argument, hujjah. Hujjah means argument or proof. They would have a hujjah or argument against God on the day of judgment if the last message revealed to mankind was not able to be comprehended. If they couldn't comprehend it, they would say, God, you gave us a book that's not in our language. I want to make something clear. Somebody may say, but not everyone in the world speaks Arabic. People in China speak different languages. People in Ethiopia speak different languages. People in this world speak different languages. How can they all understand Quran? The people in Russia, which I believe is the Caucasus area, in the Slavic countries, they don't understand Arab. They don't all understand the grammar and ta'wil. They don't know. They don't understand not all of them anyway. They don't understand. That's why. So God has to have one language. It could have been that God made it in different languages, but this message was God wanted to direct it at the Arabs. He chose to direct it to the Arabs, and brought a prophet from them. Those of us who are learning, we study it. We can learn it, we can study it. But they were the ones, the Arabs, who were the main group of people to receive this information. Yes, it was for the whole world that the Prophet Muhammad came, but they were the primary beings. They didn't receive a message, God gave them one. The final prophet was Arab. Before Prophet Muhammad, Samuel, David, Solomon, Jacob, Isaac, Daniel, if I'm not mistaken. These were non-Arab prophets. You know that the Quran only mentions 3 Arab prophets? 3 only. 3. Hud, Salih, and the Prophet Muhammad. Hud was from Oman area, I believe, between Oman and Yemen. Salih was from, I believe, southern Saudi, modern day so-called Saudi Arabia. And the Prophet Muhammad was from the Hijaz, which is the western part of Saudi Arabia. That it's known as Hijaz. He was from Mecca. That's where he was born. Peace and blessings be upon all of the prophets and the righteous ones of their progenies. So that's why the Quran was revealed in a language the same way the Torah was revealed in Hebrew, given to the children of Israel. The Bible, the Injil, which we call it the Injil. In Arabic, it's called the Injil. We call it the Gospel in English. It was revealed in Aramaic. And so, if we wanted to study the Bible, we would have to study Aramaic. You should study Aramaic. I encourage it. So actually, it was revealed, I believe, in Syriac. Suryani. Aramaic is the mother, I believe, and Syriac is a branch. Yeah, I think it was Syriac, but it may have been Aramaic actually. Jesus spoke Aramaic, but possibly Syriac. Anyway, so yes, the pagan Arabs would have had an argument, hujjah, an argument against God on the day of judgment if the last message revealed to mankind was not able to be comprehended. They would say, God, you gave us a Qur'an and a language that we could not comprehend. Again, if other people cannot comprehend it, they can learn. But this was given to a people with a prophet who came from them. If it was given to the Arabs in a language not belonging to them, it was revealed to them in a language not belonging to them, this would have been something odd and difficult for them. But it was given to them. And the prophet was from among them. This is the will of God. This necessitates that the Qur'an uses words, phrases, and expressions known to the Arabs. Known to the Arabs. So it necessitates that expressions are used that are known to who? To the Arabs. Words, phrases, expressions that they understand. That they understand. That's the second reason that the Qur'an was revealed in a language. Didn't I say the other day that I think I said in a video that the language, it's in the language of those who understood the language. Phrases, you have to know not just the first you learn the language, and you learn its grammar, and then you learn the metaphors and similes. You would have to know these things. You can read a book of tafsir and learn about them. Anyone can do it. I'm not going to say you have to be someone who's a specially trained person. You can be anyone. But this is how it goes. Anyone can learn these things. Not just a specific person. You have to be a special person to know the Arabic language. You have to be a specific person to study these things. You can be anyone and study them. Anyone can study. Anyone can do his research. Anyone can explore and gain knowledge. That's the whole purpose of learning and studying and reading. Third, the holy verse mentioned that the decisive verses are the basis, Ummul Kitab, that's what God calls them, the mother of the book, which can translate to the basis of that the decisive verses are the basis, of the book. This means the basis of the book. In parentheses it says just to let us know that's what it says in the Qur'an in Arabic, but it's the basis of the book. That's what it's just a translation in Arabic. The Arabic English translation would be basis. Mother of the book too, that works too. That's the literal translation. Basis though is not literal, but it's comprehensible. It still makes sense. It doesn't change the wording. It doesn't change the meaning. So the holy verse mentioned that the decisive verses are the basis of the book. This means that one should always refer back to the decisive verses when confronting the figurative verses. Notwithstanding, it would be superfluous to mention the decisive verses as the basis of the book if one was not encouraged to interpret the figurative verses. It wouldn't make sense to give someone the tools and boundaries, but forbid them from the undertaking altogether. I believe what this means is that when you face a figurative verse, refer to those verses which are clear and apparent, in order to help you understand the figurative verses. That's what it means. Meaning that the verses work together. It wouldn't make sense to give someone the tools and boundaries but forbid them from the undertaking altogether. The tools and boundaries are here, but we can't take, we can't undertake this task altogether. Okay, so let's just read one more sentence. The one more sentence which is of the new paragraph. This is the understanding of the Salaf, of the pious predecessors, the early Muslims. This is the understanding of the Salaf as evident by various narrations. They will continue, the commentators, they will talk to us about this, and we will see what the Salaf had to say. I told you in the beginning that this is not going to be restricted only to what Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them, had to say, but also others as well. And peace be upon the righteous ones from those others. This book is made for everyone to read. It's not just limited and exclusive to that which is in Zaydi texts. No, they will bring texts from Zaydi texts, but they made sure to bring us examples and evidences from other texts as well. So that's the end of the page. Next time we're going to continue on page 39, and we'll see what the Salaf had to say about ta'wil, interpretation. We'll see what they had to say on the next episode. Thank you for joining me. I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you always do well, God willing. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys learned something. That's the whole goal, is for us to learn and grow, and that we can bring this ummah, not like this, make it into a fist, not to hurt anyone, but to make it united. The fingers are united, they're all different, but they're united, not different meaning we're all different kinds of people from all different places, but to make it one strong, united nation. That's the goal. And to use our brains and our hearts to learn the truth, to understand the truth, not just throwing a book at you and telling you this is what it says and follow it and that's it, be quiet. No, that's not how we do things. This is for thinking. The channel was made for thinking. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace be with you.